Recently, I did what I hate most and added crates and loot boxes to my Minecraft server. I know, the guy who makes videos duping on servers with these harmful gambling mechanics added them to his server himself. How could he? Am I money hungry? Am I selling out? Am I a hypocrite just trying to take down the competition? Well, today I'm going to give you all some secret behind the scenes information on mine and a few others Minecraft servers, including how much money my server has made the past few months, how we designed these servers' mechanics to get people to spend money, and how I managed to add crates to my Minecraft server in a different way that very few servers have experimented with yet. Okay, before you get out your pitchforks, allow me to explain. First of all, why am I doing this? Well, for one reason in particular. You see, for some time, I've been told by other server owners that servers can't survive without some form of paid gambling, whether that be through crates or other similar mechanics. Now, we know that almost all servers need to have some form of pay to win to survive, and if they don't, their future is a lot less certain and sustainable, if they can even attain a playbase in the first place with their non-existent budget for advertising, that is. But pay to win gambling, something significantly more harmful? Surely that couldn't be right. I simply refuse to accept that, but I currently had no data to prove otherwise. You see, while a few notable servers had or currently are in the process of removing pay to win gambling from their server entirely, the vast majority had not, so it was hard to find examples and evidence to support my claims. If I was going to argue that ethical monetization without gambling is viable, I needed more evidence to prove it. So here's what I did. My Minecraft server recently released a new season of our RPG survival game mode. Since this game mode, unlike our other vanilla SMP, has a lot more custom features and mechanics, such as classes, dungeons, custom enchantments, and more, it gave me the ability to try out what I call non-RNG crates. The way these work is simple. Instead of buying a key to have a random chance of getting something through gambling, like in a traditional crate, these non-RNG crates allowed you to just straight up pick an item from the crate and get it, no gambling involved whatsoever. It's essentially like a weird looking item shop or store. We added 3 types of non-RNG crates to the server, the first being a rune crate. On the server we have special runes players can buy with XP that they can then apply to their gear. These runes in particular allowed players to put enchantments above vanilla levels onto their tools and armor, which is useful for when they attempt to beat our custom dungeons, some of which, like the hard and nightmare difficulty, still have yet to be beat and have a $100 bounty on them. You should come check out the server, by the way. Both Java and Bedrock players can join, IPs in the description. The non-RNG rune crate contained the highest level of every kind of rune, which cost 1 rune crate key to buy, with a few of the more powerful or valuable ones like sharpness and protection costing 2. Then we also had a slightly more expensive armor crate, which contained a variety of armor pieces with these runes already applied, the better ones costing more keys once again, and a weapons crate, which was the same thing just for weapons. Players could buy keys for these crates directly from the store, or for cheaper if they used our server's premium currency called petals, which they could also earn free to play through normal gameplay, thus allowing them to get some of these keys entirely for free. In a similar regard, we also added an individual, more expensive, purchasable item called a loot box. Instead of the loot you got from these loot boxes being randomized, you simply get to choose a specific number of items from each tier, with the better goods, like the rarest custom enchanter runes on the server, being in the highest tier. These Omni and Astral runes, as they were called, all had custom enchantments which could be applied to gear, like Roped Arrow, which allows an arrow to pull you, Tunneling, which makes your pick mine much faster, and Molineer, which hits mobs you hit with lightning. Normally, players can only get these runes through hoping they drop in the dungeons, so putting them in loot boxes where they could be obtained reliably was a good incentive to get people to buy them. Now, hearing all this, you might be thinking, isn't this just essentially a shop? Why make it into a crate or loot box? Wouldn't it be easier just to sell everything in a shop directly for money instead? And I thought so too. The previous season, we actually had a custom Fortnite item shop style plugin where players could buy goods directly from this in-game item store. Every 24 hours, the goods you could buy would rotate, allowing new things to come in, and everything sold here was at discounted rates compared to their normal prices or values. And here's the thing, barely anybody used it. It was essentially ignored and made us no money, a complete failure. But on the other hand, the new non-RNG crates and loot boxes were bought quite a bit, as we'll get into soon. soon. So why is it that an item store with better deals on goods wasn't used as much as these other non-RNG crate hybrid shops? Well, I eventually learned why, and it's due to player familiarity. Think about it like this: when you join a new public Minecraft survival server, Skyblock server, or any similar kind of server, what's one of the first things you do? For most of us, that would be to vote, which will give us some free stuff, which normally is a vote crate key. Players are familiar with crates because they are so commonly used and embedded into Minecraft server culture. Everyone knows that crates contain the best and rarest items on the server, and everyone knows how to buy them, but not everyone knows or is familiar with an in-game Fortnite style item shop, because essentially no servers use it. So taking a mechanic players are familiar with, that being crates and loot boxes, and making it instead function like an item shop while still looking like a crate ended up being much more successful, as well as more commonly interacted with by the players. It sounds dumb, I know, but player familiarity goes a long way and is often an entirely unconscious process that most players aren't even aware of. But enough explaining now, let's get down into the numbers. The numbers which display that not enough of you guys are subscribed. Make sure to change that, no pressure. Anyways, were these non-RNG crates and non-RNG loot boxes actually successful? Can they entirely replace their RNG equivalent and potentially lead more servers to remove unethical gambling monetization? I'm going to be transparent with you all and share some data I normally wouldn't share publicly. Our new season of the RPG survival server with these mechanics has been running since June now, and for the month of June, the entire game mode made almost $5,000 in revenue, including other purchasable goods like ranks of course. Now, keep in mind, over half of that went to other costs, mainly the development of the second season of the game mode, so the take home for now is not significant. But if the game mode can maintain similar monthly figures, it will look more positive in the very near future. Loot boxes and crates specifically made up a good chunk of that revenue, most of which we won't see listed here, since most players would buy the premium Petals currency and then buy the keys or loot boxes in game, meaning they won't be tracked in purchases. And keep in mind, the game mode at the time was only averaging around 40 to 70 players. That isn't that big, quite an achievable play count for most current small server owners. $5,000 for the equivalent of 50 average active players with no unethical monetization nor gambling is a respectable figure. Now, I'll be transparent again and say that the next month wasn't as high, and when factoring in our expenses, the overall total profit since the game mode's new season launched is even lower. But it's still very early days. We are still perfecting the server's monetization and learning what works and what doesn't. I'm relatively confident we can get it much more consistent in the near future with some adjustments and new additions. But the real question is, how does this performance stack up against a server who has RNG gambling crates already? And unfortunately, I don't have any hard data for you all, as other server owners won't share this with me, nor do I have some of my own. But one server owner who owns a moderately large server and tried out the non-RNG model reported that they made only 30% of the revenue they did compared to RNG crates. And that's the hard truth of the situation. No matter what, non-RNG crates will never outsell gambling ones. Simply put, gambling is just such a powerful driver of behavior and spending, where players repeatedly buy keys over and over without a clear end in sight, that nothing else can match it. That's the one thing that really distinguishes them from non-RNG crates. RNG crates lead to far greater quantities of repeat buyers and spenders. I won't lie to you guys, if you are a server owner and you do decide to switch from RNG crates to ethical non-RNG ones instead, you will make less money. But ultimately, I believe if you design the crates correctly and add other incentives for similar mechanics like loot boxes, you can get close. For example, one new mechanic we are testing out with our loot boxes this month is allowing people who buy them in bundles of 5 or 10 to get early access to one of the server's custom enchantment runes, thus incentivizing those who want to try that early to spend more money, similar to how players would spend more money to buy RNG crates over and over. Another server owner I talked with is trying out something similar, where their crates are instead like bundles of items, of which you must buy multiple of to get the best items. He even claims he has replicated the income of crates entirely. So in my opinion, based on my own data and experiences, with more experimentation and more trial and error, I think the gap in revenue between RNG crates and non-RNG ones can close more. After all, the general rule of thumb for pay-to-win servers with gambling monetization is that roughly 100 players equals roughly $10,000 in revenue monthly. essentially, and my server with a 50 to 60 average was able to get half of that, which does track quite well. The main issue is that most server owners have no desire to do this experimentation and potentially lose money when they can keep making money easily through the old tried and tested gambling crates instead. Crates as a whole have become so embedded into most Minecraft servers' bottom lines that experimenting with removing or replacing them is quite a scary prospect for most server owners, especially since advertising costs can be so high these days, something my server luckily doesn't have to concern itself with. And I don't blame them, it's a tough issue, but I simply refuse to accept the notion that unethical and unregulated pay-to-win gambling is the only way for these servers to survive. After the recent success of my server's non-RNG crates and loot boxes, I'm going to continue experimenting. And other server owners, including you guys, can now too without any cost. The non-RNG crates plugin we used on my server, Phoenix Crates, is completely free, and it's a well-made plugin used by over 2,000 servers as well. So if you want to try non-RNG crates on your server yourself, all you need to do is download their free plugin, do some easy configuration, and give it a go. Almost all the hard work is done for you. It's currently the only public plugin that exists that can do non-RNG crates, so it's quite kind of the devs to have a free version of it. Furthermore, another area of monetization that is often overlooked is cosmetics, simply because if they don't give in-game advantages, then they aren't going to make money. However, some servers have shown that custom item skins may be another way to bring in income more ethically if you do it right. Through having a Counter-Strike-like skin economy where skins can be traded to one another and have in-game value, servers have the potential to make decent money through cosmetic skin crates. These would involve RNG, but wouldn't be pay to win whatsoever, which I think is a good compromise and something I might try out on my server soon too. My point is, there are alternative, more ethical server monetization options that can be explored still, but most servers simply are too afraid to do so because it might impact their bottom line, or they have no reason to do so because they don't care about ethical monetization. So I will continue trying it and documenting how it goes so all of you can see, since I'm in the rare position to do so. Be sure to check out my new RPG survival server, which has no pay to win gambling. Both Bedrock and Java players can join. IP is down below. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching.